Club Tropicana drinks are free.
Extra couple of days to get those news stories committed to memory.
Sweaty there, Mark.
Good point there, Lewis. Good point.
I am a bit, yeah.
Yeah, just
Very hot in here.
wiping your mouth like Liam Neeson
Where's my,
in the that film with the wolves. What's it called?
I can't remember the name of that. What's it called?
Can't remember now.
The Revenant?
No,
No,
that's not Liam Neeson. Yeah.
Fuck's sake, Ben, come on.
Hey, there's wolves in it. Come on.
There's a wolf.
It's a bear, I think.
There's a bear. As well.
Bison. Buffalo, I think.
I know Paul might, but
Bison. Absolute bison.
okay.
Buffalo.
Excellent condition. Episode 41 is live. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Wild Saturday night piss
Hello.
up. That's what I've named it. That was quite perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mark, what is your news? Because it's just like a hyperlink. The hyperlink
That's
isn't
his
even working.
attempt. That's his attempt at a pithy
The
headline.
University of Maryland Engineers have
shit.
reprinted us off to what I can.
It's engineers have developed a robot hand that can play Nintendo. They can play Super Mario Brothers first level. So I thought, given that we were talking about hands a lot recently with my tiny little hands, I thought it was appropriate.
Did you hold your
Yeah.
hand up there? I've never seen it.
They're still up. They're still up. What's
I
the
just seemed
problem?
like this.
Can you not see them?
Oh, they work.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah. That was it,
Sounds like a
really.
penguin.
Sorry. Ed. So think of a
Throw
pithy
it up
title.
Two little. Yeah.
Tiny robot
Pithy
hands.
title.
It's fine. I'm just going to read the hyperlink. It's fine.
Read it.
Robot hands make light work of Mario.
Ooh,
Yeah. Marketing.
like it. Very
Okay.
cool.
Yeah.
Can we hold on? Can we go back to the fact that Lewis
It's
called
like
it
being in the
hyperlink
boardroom.
as well? Like,
That's what it's called.
yeah, but
Is
I
it
used to get loaded. Just say link.
Hi, it's a hyperlink.
I'm
Though.
clicking on the hyperlink. Just say link. Like, I used to get criticism when I said HTTPS every fucking podcast, so you can get it in the next sunshine. Twat.
It's like when Laurie said, I'm going to microchip my PlayStation
Yes.
the other week, and you rinsed him for that.
He deserved it for that as well. I'm going to
get it
microchip my
microchipped.
PlayStation. What?
Oh,
What
funny.
Boris was that? We've got our news stories ready. Okay.
So I put two news stories in. Lewis,
Said
feel
only
free
one.
to dump the second one because it's a bit console war baiting, and I don't think we really need that kind of stuff.
And I've taken out. I've deleted it. I have to copy over this. What should be hyperlink in a different tab.
Twat. I'm going back to my soup. For
Hyperlink is just as quick to say.
No, it's not.
That's
It
what we're doing
actually
in
is
this
not.
Well, it's quicker to say than HTTPS
can't cope with this.
/
Can we postpone again?
That address again.
Can we postpone it again, please? You've got
If you
Lewis
say
like,
link, though,
saying
there could be some ambiguity, couldn't there, with the Zelda character?
we've already it's ambiguity because Lewis is extending words and Mark's picking out fucking news content that's just based on the fact whether or not who wrote it intelligent.
I'm not.
Well, the person
I've
that
got
wrote this.
nothing.
Is
Yeah, he's used several words of multi-syllable words. It's it. I couldn't
Like
find it.
hyperlink.
Jason in the chat.
Hyperlink.
3 syllables versus 1 isn't quicker. Haha. There you go. Get owned, Lewis. Factually owned.
He's right as well.
He is right.
Lewis, from now on, say link. Like that.
Link.
Link.
The LINK. Is that working?
TWS.
I read my new book right there.
In Mark's hands, that looks like an encyclopedia.
Oh, I just choked on some ham.
Oh, we have a laugh.
Yours is better than the title on this news article, though, Ben. You'll be pleased to hear, marketing boy, because it says, just robotic hand has knack for video games. That's nothing.
That's so low effort.
Low effort.
Ugh.
It's like they weren't even trying to be pithy with it.
It's like they just put a factual title, and it's just not good enough.
Wankers.
Absolute cunts.
I can't believe they've used. I can't believe they've used video games. Such a waste of time. Robotic hand has knack for games. Come on,
Yeah.
cut to the chase, bitches.
Right, everybody tuning in. We are going to postpone for another couple of days until these guys can get there. I'm taking the ball back. I don't want to play anymore. They're
What's he
ruining
doing with his
my
balls? Where's it been?
in the garden.
Taking the
Post
ball
it
bag
somewhere.
Taking the ball back.
to the face.
To the face.
I'm happy to start. I've put a little tweet out, I think.
See, for Discord, Dan, I don't think it matters that much, but I don't think it's that mic you're coming through.
Oh, fuck off. Dan's mic. Okay, let's try that.
Good spot, Lewis. Good ears.
That's
What?
me.
So, sorry, what Discord's not coming through this mic?
No. It doesn't sound like you're coming through that mic. It sounds like you're coming through
On
somewhere
Discord.
else.
Okay, that's
Yeah, on
Far
Discord.
away.
okay, that's cool.
Far away.
Input device is default. Let's try that. Is that this now? Is that better?
Yeah, it sounds.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's crisp.
Is it crisp?
Oh, it's like you're.
It's what happens when
there.
you don't. Yeah, it's what happened when you don't cheap out on a microphone, Ben. Of all people, you should know that.
You got that one for you got that one for free.
This was free.
Wow.
For those watching, this chair is not even 1 year old and it's already beginning to bump itself down. So if I just disappear out of shot, it's because my seat's shrinking.
What have you done to the seat, Lewis?
I just put on weight, extra weight. Can't cope.
And if I disappear, it's because the sun goes down. So sorry about that.
Normally, that's when you appear.
This is my hand, by the way.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Just checking.
Glad I
Look at
said
what
it was yours.
giant
I thought one of those kids had escaped.
If you see that, by the way, let me know, because they're cheeky little fuckers. Right. Fucking little bastards. They're always messing with my cum rag.
Wow. Oh my word.
Wow. It is a Saturday night, isn't it?
You wonder why we don't get
Yeah.
any fucking aggregation on YouTube with fucking cum rag getting thrown out and kids in the same sentence. The Google algorithm's just going off it. Honest to God.
Okay. I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm just doing one quick thing.
Audacity.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah, Autodesk.
Oh, yes.
Oh yes. It's not Thursday. It's Saturday.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check.
Hello.
Hello.
God, that sounds amazing. Okay.
Oh, if you are
Lauren?
watching, please hit that like button.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Hit that like button.
Hit the like button.
Smash that bell.
And
That
into the
in
intro.
history.
Oh no, we need to record first. That would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Smash
Shall
that
we do
bell.
a clap then?
Okay, I'm recording.
Oh. Hold on. Fucking hell,
3.
jeez. Well, hold on. Okay, now we can.
What is it again? 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was all over the shop.
Way off.
Do it again. Let's see who's out. I think Mark is by a second.
Mark seemed way behind.
3,
In
2,
school, or?
1. Shall we do it again? Third
Yeah,
time.
do it again.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
I'm sure it'll be fine in the end.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Jason Frost said tiny hands. Into the intro.
Kept you waiting.
Hello there, and welcome to Crosscast episode 41, recorded live on YouTube on Saturday, 24th July 2021. My name is Lewis, and today I'm joined by three absolute guys. Just before I go into that, I read the notes for this, and I updated the date, but it still says it was meant to be the 22nd initially. It now says 24th.
Is that why you sound like you're having a stroke?
Yeah.
24th!
The first of them being, what would you do if you were young and beautiful and had a big bottle of champagne? Crack that thing open, pour yourself a glass, sit down in your favourite wingback and get lost in a good book. This is a daily occurrence, Monday to Friday, for Mark. Hi there.
Hey, Lewis.
Hi.
Can I just say it only looks like a giant bottle of champagne.
So it's just like a one or two glasser. Okay. Next up, freshly sluiced and ready for action. He goes by many names. Thackeray Binks, the Equilateral Triangle, Love Me, Say That You Love Me, Juice, Magmar, Keith. But we know him as the Slippery Bugger, Ben.
Hello, Lewis. Thank
Hi.
you for that. I didn't laugh.
I know. Good.
It's
It's not my aim. It's not my aim to make anyone laugh.
Well, it is. I was very close at Magma. But, yeah, kept it together.
Yeah, good.
Good stuff.
And last but by no means least, fructose, sucrose, glucose, and everything like those. These were ingredients used to make a boy. The perfect boy. Nathaniel Ward was born.
Hi, mate. You okay?
Yeah.
You do make me sound like an alt-right superstar when you start like talking stuff like that, which I'm really worried about. Again,
That's fine.
Google aggregation is not going to go down very well.
I always feel like when you say thus Daniel Ward was born, there should be some music there as well. Like dun 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 dun.
Dun 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 Ward, dun dun
Dun,
dun
dun,
dun.
dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
How we all doing? Well. All here.
Yeah.
Saturday night.
I like the way you move.
Be that baby.
That's Yeah, that's a song.
No. Who sang that? Wigfield.
I was going to say Shania Twain, but Wakefield is right.
Wakefield. Wigfield.
Not the city, not the town of Wakefield. What is that noise? Said Leeds.
Just on loop constantly, forever. Nightmare.
It would improve
Yeah.
Wakefield. Anecdotally.
I see you were drinking back something there, Dan. What you got?
I'm drinking back a can that I've had in the fridge for about 4 weeks. It's called Urban Fog, and it's Brewdog. McKellar.
Oh yeah, I think they're a German or American brewer. I think.
Yeah, it's weird that you start to get like these hybrid cans, as if it's like a rap song with a feature on it. Like Brewdog feet. McKellar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's the best I've got. I'm sorry, I'm tired.
that's all right. Mark, what have you got?
I'm bringing it West Country. I've got some
Piss.
crap. It's in a bottle. Did you know?
Cloudy piss.
I've got Cranbourne Chase cider. It's called
Nice.
the Smuggler.
Oh.
It's dry and it's 6%.
Ooh.
It's the sort of thing that
A
you
job.
take a sip, it just immediately gives you a full frontal headache.
Nice,
All about that full frontal.
exactly. Ben, what about you?
I am drinking Beavertown neck oil.
Oh yeah, is that the
Yeah.
purple can?
Well,
No,
my
No,
okay.
the orange one. Session IPA. 4.3%. I'm drinking it out of a Beavertown glass. as well.
Wow,
Yeah. I'm all about Beavertown.
Stolen from a local pub.
Been a while
sponsors.
since I've been.
They don't sponsor us. And I don't have any alcoholic beverage tonight. I've reverted to type, and I've got a 1.5 litres of diluting juice. It's not a litre and a half, but it's a lot of water because it's quite warm. And
You might
I
have to explain
ran out of beer.
what it is to Mark.
What, the South or sorry, Scotland? I
Diluted
fucked that
juice.
joke.
Yeah, I think you'll probably call it squash or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's as exciting as it
I
gets.
just thought you were talking about water.
No.
No. Yeah,
might as well
squash,
be.
yeah.
All right, let's move on to the new news.
Oh, button.
Tonight, the headlines. PS5 still selling out. July Game Pass games announced. PES is dead. Long live eFootball. And something to do with a hand. Those are the headlines for this evening. Right, so the PS5 consoles are still going out, are obviously still on sale occasionally, and still going out of stock very, very quickly. So I think it was maybe Wednesday or Thursday last week. There was 8,000 to 10,000 units available. I think it was from Game, and they went live at 9 o'clock in the morning, and by 5 to 10, they were all gone.
That's a while.
Yeah.
It's a while, but it's still, that's a lot of consoles in less than an hour. And how many of those consoles have actually gone to, real life people and not just bots or scalpers?
Yeah, I know. I've never seen like these bots working. And I'm obviously I haven't seen them working. I'm curious to know how they work as well. Like, because mapping to a website isn't easy. So assuming like how you're going to be able to get a bot to run through it, it's not as simple as just like building something and doing it. But there's definitely scalpers, 100%. There's that massive scalping team, isn't there, that basically have said we've turned over 4,000 PlayStation 5 units in the UK. Which, to be fair, when you add up all of the premium purchases, let's say if they're adding on a margin of like 150 quid to each one, yeah, it's a tidy little sum. It's good. Scumbags.
That's the thing. Yeah, but I mean, in any, not in just in recent memory, but ever, has there, I mean, we're coming up to a year or so since the PS5 was released. Has there ever been a console that's been this difficult to get a hold of this long after release?
The Wii? Not really difficult for a very long
The
time.
Wii was pretty tricky to get hold of for a while, but I think this is the fastest selling console of all time.
Yeah.
I think as well. Like in that space of time, it's still sold a shitload. But yeah, it's frustrating. We've said it before. It's almost like off-putting to have to sit in a queue to hopefully get one. I think it puts a lot of people off.
Have you tried?
I've sat in a few queues waiting just to see if I could get to the front and get the opportunity to buy one. But I've always backed out at the last minute. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because I'm seeing a lot of Series S's, like people posting pictures of the Series S on shelves now. I think more so in the States. They seem to have sorted their supply out because I think that was the fastest selling or the best selling console, at least like dollar wise, in June. Which is, I think, it's the first time that Xbox has done that. But I think that is just literally they're able to keep up the supply. If the PlayStations were churned out as quickly, there's no doubt that they would be outselling the Xboxes. So it's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah,
that's a great machine.
Yeah, fantastic machine. Absolutely amazing. Have used it once.
Looks great.
It looks fantastic. But then at the same point, it's on stock on shelves in the game in Liverpool as well. And I was like, well, okay, that's cool. And I'd still say if a parent was looking for something at Christmas, that'd be a no-brainer in terms of all the consoles that were on offer.
Yeah.
Especially like the latest Switch announcement as well for the OLED. Like it's with it being a marginal upgrade, but yeah, 100% get a Series S.
Mark, we've not really heard from you regarding any what current gen. Let's start calling it current gen because it is. Have you tempted by PS5, Xbox at all? You're a proper Nintendo boy, but so was Ben, and now Ben is.
So are you.
Spans the platforms now.
He spans.
I'm a spanner.
Not really. I mean, I was trying to think of the only console I've had that was other than Nintendo. The only one I paid money for was the PS2, and the only other one was a PS3 that I was gifted.
Stole
the rest of the Nintendo stuff stolen. Yeah. Is that what it is? Is what gifted means in Scotland?
There's the lorry. There's the lorry. Quick. Two traffic lights.
Yeah.
Lewis was described as a gifted child growing up as well.
I've got loads of gifted children here.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What was I going to say? No, not really, because I don't have enough time as it is to play all the games I want to play on the Switch and stuff. And So I would love to be able to, move around and like you lovely guys play all these consoles and things. But it's like Dan just said there. He's got the Series X, loves it, played it once. I fear that would be the case with me. I don't play the Switch enough as it is. I've got loads of games on there that I haven't got to. So that's my main worry, really, is like the money and the time be required.
Yeah. You could be really extravagant and get an X and an S and play neither. Ben.
Just wait until we get to pick up and play, bitch.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, mate. Sorry. I do quite fancy a PS5, but I'm in no rush. I have joined 0 queues to see how long it would take me to get to the front. I'm happy enough to wait. Happy enough indeed.
Interestingly, Hair in My Eyes in the chat said, I've been seriously tempted by the Series S now, having never had a Microsoft console before, but I've only just got used to using Switch handheld in bed. I think you probably agree with this, Ben, but if you're really into your indies and you do have a telly in the house, like, it does seem like a bit of a no-brainer for the cost, to kind of have that next-gen offering, especially if it is available on shelves. And I think most Nintendo Switch games, let's just say you've got 3 or 4 hanging around that you're not going to play anymore and you're not too much of an avid collector, if you trade them in, at the moment, most games are doing like a 20% uplift as well because they're low on stock. So you get maybe like 80, 90 quid towards it just from those games. So yeah, it's definitely a good offering. And I think if you haven't got a next-gen console, it's definitely worth it.
It's a great foot in the door.
Absolutely.
And I think that all access deal is amazing.
It's
where you can get
good.
You can get the Series S for 20 quid, can't you? A month.
20 quid a month with Game Pass Ultimate.
With Game Pass for 2 years.
But if you've got a PC as well, that Ultimate carries across, and then you've got all of the xCloud stuff.
If you've got 2 Xboxes, obviously you only need Game Pass on one of them. So like when I got the Series S, I already had Game Pass, so that all, it's a good little ecosystem for particularly what you said, Dan, those indies. But obviously the big Xbox titles to come from this month onwards is when they start rolling out, isn't it?
Yeah, somebody's just referred. Jason Frost in the chat referred to the Switch OLED as the Switch Bright, and that's made by That's a great idea. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking about Xbox games, all the new Game Pass games for the coming month have been announced. I'm going to read off this bit here, so keep me right, Ben. So Battlefield 5 cloud version. Chris Tales. I've no idea what that is, but I've seen loads of folks speaking about it.
It's a JRPG, and the main hook of it is that you're in the past and the future and the present at the same time, and you can kind of skip between the 3 of them. I don't know how that works, but I think you can when you're in a battle, you can go back to the past and battle younger versions of the enemies to make them weaker, or something like that. But it looks interesting, really gorgeous art style as well.
Decent Metacritic review. It's like 74 at the moment, which is sound. So
yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Also, Raji, Crimson Skies, Last Stop, The Ascent, Blinks, something. Flight Simulator comes out in a couple of days.
Yep.
Omno,
the first true next-gen game. Amazing.
We've been saying that for weeks. And Atomic Ops. Wow. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last Stop looks good, which is the new Annapurna game. I think Alex and I were like geeking out in the chat a little bit about that, which is really cool. The Ascent looks decent. Battlefield 5 is just a really, really good shooter. But the first player is quite interesting in that because it jumps from time frame and like real key battles. So you can go from like, I think a massive fight in the middle of Gobi Desert or whatever it's called. Gobi? Is that right?
Gobi.
Oh, sorry. It's been a long day. The Gobi Desert, and in like the 30s, and then you fast forward to like Vietnam at one point, I think. So it's like jumping around all these massive things. So yeah, they're quite cool. I don't know much about the RG. And
that was in Mark might have heard of that one
Direct.
because that was in an indie showcase, wasn't
Yeah.
it? And it looks quite good. I think it's developed in India.
Yeah.
I've heard really good things about it. It looks cool. I think I'm going to give that one a go because it's one of
been
those
on my watch list.
Yeah, exactly. I've had that on my Switch watch list, and as another great thing that Game Pass is good for is trying these games out and then going, right, this seems like more of a Switch game. I'll buy it on the Switch. So yeah, that's another one.
Definitely done that a couple of times.
I'm not sure if you mentioned Omno, OMNO.
Yeah.
That looks very cool as well. That's coming out July 29th to Game Pass. Kind of like it looks a bit Journey-esque. I think I didn't notice any sort of combat or anything in the trailer, but yeah, looks like another cool indie.
Cool.
It does say it's got puzzles and secrets and obstacles, so maybe a bit more involved than say Journey, but still looks beautiful just looking at pictures.
I think for me, out of that whole list, I'm really looking forward to clearing the Series S so I can install Flight Simulator. Even if it's just for like half an hour, just mucking about, trying to at least take
Where are you going to
off.
fly to in half an hour?
Newcastle.
I think the one thing that needs to be said for it as well, the all the criticism that PlayStation received for like not supporting indie devs, or let's just say games that aren't as discoverable on the PS Store. Like Xbox are making a massive. They must be offering a good chunk of like cash to people that are actually getting these games onto Game Pass, because literally every high-profile indie game seems to be coming on the console, which is amazing.
Well,
Yeah,
they say
so
they get a sales bump on other platforms because they get this surge of people playing it for free on Game Pass, talking about it on like we're doing now. And then they go, oh, well, I'd like to have this on my Switch or my PlayStation.
Yeah, the idiots like us who go, I can get this for part of a subscription service, but I think I'm going to pay extra for it as well. Physical copy, yes, please.
Yeah, I want it on my shelf. I'm never going to play it, but...
Hades, Game of the Year. Oh, what? A physical version? I'm in.
Nice to have, though, isn't it?
Is it?
It is nice. It is nice.
And The Ascent, did we mention The Ascent? July 29th. That is one of our Game Club games in August, right? Yes. Beat out Horace.
Pardon?
Get it. Not beat off.
Bit wrong.
DLC's coming.
Yeah, the
I don't know much about The Ascent. Is it like kind of not isometric, but it's that kind of weird Diablo style aspect, is it not?
Yeah.
Twin stick.
Yeah. With a kind of more sort of futuristic look about it. Co-op. I think you can play it solo or co-op. In a cyberpunk world.
Cyberpunk, yeah.
Game Rant says The Ascent is an ARPG twin stick shooter that's set in a cyberpunk world. There you go, Ben. Far in the future, where hyper-capitalism has turned the world of Veles into a dystopia, a mega corporation named the Ascent Group owns everyone. One day, the Ascent Group suddenly shuts down for unknown reasons, and the player must take up in arms.
Did you say unknown raisins?
Did I? For unknown reasons.
Like unknown raisins have shut it down.
It could be that. Yeah, they're just grapes that have been left in the sun. It's fine. But that's it. You can play solo up to 3 friends. It doesn't say whether or not it's online. I'll have a little dig for that while
Surely
you carry
it is.
on talking.
Apparently, if you or the official translation or whatever of the Grapes of Wrath into Japanese, if you take that translation and translate it back into English, the book's called The Angry Raisins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I heard a brilliant name for bees recently, which is spicy sky raisins.
We've. I'll have to be careful about how I phrase this. Just let me think. Yeah, okay. So there's a person in work that I won't name who's not from originally from the UK, so they got a different name, and somebody misspells that name quite often, and then said person came back and said that the misspelling of the name that you keep on giving me actually means virgin in our country. And it proper made me laugh, and I was like, "Oh, the poor guy's just getting called virgin every 5 seconds." So I was like, "This is amazing." He's not. I don't think. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Even if he is, it's like,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
if anything, it's a good thing.
The gameplay for The Ascent includes single player, local co-op, and online co-op with a maximum of 4 players.
Wow.
Awesome.
Bring it back to video games for a second. Sorry, guys.
Oh man.
It's okay.
Okay.
Spicy sky raisins.
Sensible.
Don't have to talk about it.
Those spicy sky raisins. Speaking about spicy sky raisins, PES has changed its name to eFootball.
Great segue.
Thank you.
What a fucking stupid idea that was. Has anyone actually been bothered to see this or heard anything about it at all before I start?
Is this what was when we spoke about a few weeks ago? Is this the game that was new
Came out as
football
like a
game
demo
or
or
something?
something. wasn't it?
Came out
Yeah.
a demo.
That's
that
what this
looked-
was.
Yeah, that looked wank. So it's essentially just it's a completely free to play game now, and they've just taken Pez away. Konami have just decided like this is going to be free to play, and you have to pay for your Ultimate Team packs or whatever the equivalent is in that game, and certain features and functions that you'll have to pay for as well. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It probably will make me play Pez for the first time in 7-8 years. Before last time I played it was when Adriano was still playing. He had a 98 shot on his left foot,
Yeah,
pinging it into the
halfway
top
line.
corner, and Torres was still at Atletico. So yeah, like going back to it, it'll be interesting. But eFootball, just as a name as well, what a fucking stupid idea that was.
Yeah.
Like, why drop something that everybody knows? Like, even if they called it ePez, do you know what I mean? It would have made more sense than eFootball. Oh, sorry.
It's trying
Really,
to
really
apply.
annoying.
They're trying to sort of appeal to the Yorkshire market. Hey, football.
Back gum, lad.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah, it's just-
raging about it, but yeah, very interesting.
Could we call it F Ootball? Instead of
If you want to call it that, I'll call it that with you.
From now on, that's what we call it.
F Ootball.
Football.
Football. Yeah, it's like they're trying to lean into the esports kind of branding of it. I don't understand it because PES or Pro Evolution, whatever you want to call it, is a recognizable brand. It's like
Yeah.
it is the number 2 behind FIFA. I mean, that's just the way it is. But to kind of totally pivot away from that, it's bizarre. I've not seen any videos or much of the demo or anything like that, so I don't really know how it looks.
Hair in
I
my
guess
eyes in the
if
chat
it-
saying, surprising it's not exclusive to pachinko machines.
That's a shout.
Maybe it is that.
Yeah, it could be. You never know. I don't know.
I mean, it might play well,
I think
and
it's
that might be it.
exclusive. I think it's exclusive to pachinko machines.
Oh,
The name itself, like eFootball as well, like you alienating half of like the Americas as well. All of South America still call it soccer, like, and then all like most of like the Middle East still call it soccer. It's only really like the UK in some aspects that still call it football. It's fucking stupid. It's so strange. So I don't know.
yeah.
Unless it's called e-soccer in those places, in which case I'll wind my neck in. But
Crazy.
Pro Evolution. You could have just kept it like that.
weird.
Pro Evolution Soccer.
Whatever it is, I'll still absolutely batter everyone on it. So it's okay, Alex. I'll come for you.
Alex has still got to beat me in the. He's
You keep saying this, but like
he folded. He folded. I mean,
can't-
he was 2 up and he conceded 2 in the last.
you can't
minute.
fold when Ben the bottleneck is just sat on the chat, grinly smugging away. Grinly
Yeah.
smugging.
Grinly
That's all-
smugging.
I don't know what's wrong with
That's
me.
what they call it.
I feel like,
One
I
of
feel
my
like I'm ill.
names.
I'm not well, boys. Grinly smugging. Sounds like a Harry Potter character.
It does.
Grinly smugging.
It does, yeah. It's a new
Making
defense
a-
against the dark
Making a note
arts.
of that one.
Yeah. Mark, coming to you next. Some
Lewis.
scientists have built a robotic hand that can play NES games. Is that right?
Yeah, basically, I was trying to find some Nintendo news. It was a bit light this week, but also, last couple of episodes we talked about hands and things. I thought I
Time
just
to
wanted
work.
your guys' take on this, really. So, these team of researchers from the University of Maryland, they've created like a 3D printed robotic hand that is agile enough to play and win the first level of Super Mario Brothers on the NES. They're playing it, so with the classic old school NES controller. What do you guys think? Is this the beginning of the end? Are we all going to get Robot Uprising?
Isn't
around
this,
and beat us all at games?
isn't that level or all those levels the exact same every single time? There's no like variable in it. Like the Goomba's still gonna be in the same place. They're just like programmed to.
Yeah, let's throw
Pet A.
Enter the Gungeon in there if you can get through that.
Yeah.
Impress me.
Yeah.
Dark Souls.
Yeah.
eFootball.
That's a good point.
Have they not got anything better to do?
Throw eFootball at it.
Yeah. I know.
What has a robotic hand got no better uses than
Yeah, just
playing Mario?
you know what I mean.
I
What was that noise, Mark?
Oh.
don't even know. Oh, yeah, it was me channeling
you see Mark's brain thinking, and he just went, "Oh,
No, I've got nothing.
So what is the upshot of this though? What's this going to lead to? What is the?
I think it's
Give us
like
some context.
getting them to play the game is just like a publicity gimmick. It's actually like a 3D printing AI advancement. And did you not all read the link? I'm assuming
The hyperlink didn't work.
The hyperlink didn't work. The hyperlink was HTTPS.
It's an advancement in something called integrated fluidic circuits, which does sound like something from, what's it called? Mario Sunshine.
Yeah,
It does.
So
the hand looks pretty cool.
but I think just the video game aspect was just like, let's get it to do something that at least will get us in the news for a bit, and maybe get us
for
funding
an
next
obscure
year.
podcast.
For an obscure podcast. It's probably all over the robotic podcasts. We're just not listening to them.
That's a good point.
But you guys have dismissed it, but I thought it was quite impressive that they just got like a hand to beat, the first level of Super. But you're not impressed.
It's a well easy level though, isn't it?
I don't know.
It is quite easy.
Even I can beat it.
Siri can order me a pizza on
come
Just
back to
Eat.
us with Gungeon.
If Siri can order me like a pizza from Just Eat, and that new Samsung is basically a model, then I'm more impressed by that AI than I'm a digital wanking hand.
Yeah. Can the hand
think it was the
complete it with its eyes
Dexterity
shut?
of it.
That would be impressive.
Mm.
That'd be impressive. Okay. Anything else to discuss? Any other
About
body
that,
parts that we
nothing.
want to go over?
I think they're
more hands.
the big talking points, aren't they?
I mean-
Hair in my eyes in chat. Is that said, by the way? I feel silly keep saying hair in my eyes. Hair in my eyes said the Playdate is coming out next week. Quick round the table thoughts on the Playdate. Obviously, we've spoken about it before. Mark, it seems like the sort of weird thing you might be interested in. It's got a little crank
Never
on
heard
it.
of it actually.
Like a
Tell me about
cellar
it.
door.
Tell me
Here we
about it.
go.
Oh god, it's that little yellow thing, handheld console
Oh,
that plays
okay.
like black and white games with a crank. I keep doing that as if you don't know what a crank is. Is that? Have you seen
He
it?
doesn't. He
I
doesn't.
think we should give it to the robot hand and see how it gets on with that. if it could just do the cranking for us, we could be playing and it does the cranking.
Brilliant.
That would work.
There we go.
nicely.
That's our thoughts. I don't think any
Is
of the
this
rest
like-
of us are picking it up, though, are we?
I'm not really, but it's one of those things. It's like those torches that they drop into like sub-Saharan Africa, and they can like wind them up, and it's a nice thing. It's just
think-
like that. So it's like you
I
can
don't
drop it
think-
into the jungle. And
Very.
I don't think you power it with the crank. If that's
you
what
don't power it with the crank.
No, I think the crank is like the equivalent of the D-pad. I
Exercise.
think you do something
Oh, the
with
D-pad.
it in the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like
It's got a
there's
D-pad on it.
Yeah, but it's
There's one
another,
game-
it's
second
another
D-pad.
control scheme.
the first game that I seen running on it it's like a guy, he's either sitting on the toilet or sitting on a chair, and the crank turns and he stands up. You can crank it back and he'll sit back down again.
Sold.
It's for something. I mean, I like it. I'm not going to get it though.
Yeah, I'd like to see what the game's kind of what the verdict is on the games. If it is just stuff like, oh, you can make this guy stand up and sit down again, I'll probably pass. But we'll see.
It's the game equivalent of the robot hand. Apparently it comes with 24 games. It's very
shit.
tiny. It might even be smaller than the Super Mario, the Game and Watch.
There is like a subscription model to it, isn't there? Where you get like games every month delivered to it. So I think we unceremoniously labelled this the wanky crank box or something, or
Something like that, yeah.
something like that in the I did. I'm sorry to everyone. And we all had a Barney over it because it was pretty much like one part of everyone was like, this is a legitimate gaming console, and then the rest of the group are like, this isn't. This is something that'll sit on your shelf, and you'll look at it occasionally and go, oh, that's something that identifies me as like a niche early adopter and video gamer, as that kind of thing. So I think all the peripherals, the peripherals that come with it as well, like you can get a pretty nifty stereo dock for it. And there's like nice ways to protect it. You can get like a little cover for it. I don't think this is the thing that you're going to be taking on the train with you and playing over, 10, 15, 20 hours a week. It's something that you're going to pick up, probably play through the games. It seems very WarioWare-ish as well. In terms of the games that are on it, take advantage of the actual peripheral itself. So, and the Crank itself, like it's a nice idea, but very similar to the devs that actually created it, the guys that did Untitled Goose Game, I think, same people. Yeah, House, yeah.
Okay.
Like, as much as it's a really, really lovely concept, like, I don't know, I just feel it's going to be quite superficial and bare. So it'll do very well. I think it'll clearly sell out because there's going to be that many niche people that really want to pick it up. But similar to like Untitled Goose Game, it'll be maybe a critical darling for a little while, and then it'll just fall off the face of the earth. So yeah, that's it. Sorry, negative views.
That's the verdict. That's the official verdict.
Yeah,
That's it.
going with that.
That's it,
There we
done.
go. Sorry, guys.
Wanky Crank.
Monkey Crank.
Crocs.
Monkey Crank. Cranky wank. Okay, should we move into memory slot?
Ooh.
Hi, memory slot this week. With all these remasters or HD remakes and that, we thought we'd have a little discussion.
And that.
I love, with all these HD remakes and that.
All of them.
You've seen them.
Look at them all. Just look at them all over there. Just
Dead Space. That's a topical one.
That's one. Link's Awakening.
Mass Effect.
Final
Is it?
Fantasy 7.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Should we keep
Another
going
one.
round until we can't think of
Resident Evil 2 and 3.
You can't say 2. Keep going round until nobody can get one.
Tetris. That's been remastered loads.
Ooh, The Last of Us.
Ooh.
Spider-Man.
Ooh. Come on, Mark. 5.
Oh, Skyward Sword HD.
3. Okay, good.
Ah.
Carry on, Lewis. Sorry to distract you.
Did one.
That's fine. So, we're going to discussion, or at least mention what our favourites are and what we would like to see. I think mainly what we would like to see. Who wants to go first? Instead of me...
I'll go first.
You go first, Ben. I was going to pick you anyway. You go first.
Great. I would like to see a full top to bottom remake of Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
Shite. Yeah.
Absolute bag of shit. No, because
Bollocks.
I've never enjoyed that. Never enjoyed that game. I
that-
can't get over the N64 graphics. I know there's good
You've
games.
never
that
mentioned
are
this
so cute
before,
and
Ben.
chunky.
You've
No,
never mentioned
I've
this.
always kept quite quiet about it.
But Ben, you're cute and chunky, and the graphics are cute. What's the issue?
Yeah, but I'm not blurry around the edges. Very sharp. Got very sharp edges.
Yeah.
I just it's a shame because the look of those games, all N64 games, puts me off. But particularly, I would like because I'm sure Ocarina of Time is as amazing as everyone says it is. But the couple of times that I've tried to play it, and even playing Majora's Mask 3D on the 3DS a few years ago, it looks the same. It still looks off-putting to me, and I know it's like I should be able to get past that, but I just can't. So
The 3D, because I would almost put this as like one that already has had a nice remake in that it did get the nice 3DS version.
it's not. It still
That
still
kind of
looks the
got me
same.
back into. It still looks kind of the same. It's
I
a
would
little bit
like-
of an improvement.
Like, let's take again Resident Evil 2 to Resident Evil 2 remake, or even better, Final Fantasy 7 to Final Fantasy 7 remake. That's what I would like to see. I'd like to see Ocarina of Time in the Breath of the Wild engine, maybe,
Yeah.
and that would make me play it.
I think that's the kind of dream
I'd enjoy it.
for loads of people. I'd say me included. I would love that. Like, I've recently replayed Ocarina of Time on my 2DS, and that's the first time I'd played it in 22 years or however long it's been since it first released, and I still love that game. It was the kind of a bit apprehensive about going back to these games that you kind of hold in such high regard, and Ocarina of Time for me still holds up. Which I was happy about. But a full top to bottom like remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it, whatever is just that would be amazing. And Majora's Mask as well. I think I would prefer Majora's Mask just because it's a little bit different in terms of the story for me, the atmosphere and all that is probably the best in the series for me.
It's so dark, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
just, it's nice. It feels like a side story, like a Zelda Gaiden almost.
I've always wanted to go back and play them, but it's always been like really, really off-putting for me for the similar reason of like it just has not dated well. I was going to say I never played Ocarina, never played Majora's, so yeah, I would like to play them at some point. So I'm with you, Ben. I agree.
Wow. There we go.
Lovely.
I think currently, and people probably out there will disagree, but I think the 2 3D versions are the best way to currently play them, in my opinion, at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lewis, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to
Because
plug
they've
in
got some of the
your...
improvements. Yeah.
Like, I don't know what improvements were made for Ocarina of Time, but I know there was a lot of improvements made on Majora's Mask. Because like nowadays, we don't have the time to, or like games back then didn't appreciate or didn't give a fuck about your time. So I think there was a lot of kind of wandering around. Was cleaned up in Majora's Mask. I don't know exactly, but I think that had more kind of tinkering done in the background. But yeah, unless you want to plug in your original copies, I think the 3DS version's probably the best way.
Definitely think like playing it on the 2DS new version or whatever you call it. Like I'm desperately trying to get one tomorrow at some point. But by playing it on that console would make more sense to me than trying to play it on like a GameCube or whatever else it's been like re-released on at any point. So yeah, hopefully
It's been prettified. It is an improvement. They've improved several different aspects of the game in both versions, both games. Sorry, for the 3DS, like the Bomber's Manual and Majora's Mask. They tweaked all of that, so it was easier to manage, and you can keep notes about the various events that happen in the different areas and things. And Ocarina of Time 3DS actually just got me back into gaming in quite a huge way. So I have a lot of fondness for that 3DS remake because I was very skeptical going in because I'd seen Super Mario 64 on the DS and not enjoyed that despite being a huge fan of the original game. Shut up, Ben.
Yeah,
And,
you're taunting them now.
Don't even say anything because you will get smashed. Smash him. But I was very skeptical about the idea of these sort of handheld remakes of console games going into Ocarina of Time 3DS, and I was just captivated right from the beginning of that game, and I just played it all the way through just in like a few days. Absolutely loved every second of it. The music, the characters, all the elements. The music in that is just amazing. The Ocarina of Time. Lewis, you agree?
Yeah, I think, and I do agree. In terms of catchiness of songs, Majora's Mask beats it. But I don't think you get to the music in Majora's Mask if you don't go through Ocarina first. And I don't mean like you don't. I mean like you don't actually. It doesn't ever exist. You know, that kind of progression of the music to that point for me. Even though there's like it's subtle changes, maybe even if it's just in a different key.
It's like a second album that's like referencing the first album or something.
I think it's
like you need to have been there at the beginning.
Classic.
All right.
Maybe I'll give the
I do
3DS
agree.
one
I'd love
again.
A big remaster would be really exciting.
Just hopping over to the chat quickly. BMox, hello. Just joined the chat. Hello. Just want to go on record, just to quote Lelena in the chat, said, I appreciate that Ben doesn't overhype games. Like lots of people say, every game is the best game ever. See, I don't do that.
You hyped up Hades to...
So there you go. No, Lewis, it's been said. She's a Patreon. Respect. Yeah?
She's wrong, right? You do hype games up.
Whatever you do, don't take the piss out of patrons.
I've actually got a transcript of an earlier episode here if you want me to read it. There's just a quote from Ben that says, these 15 games are the best fucking games ever. Direct quote.
That is something I would say.
Those were the PlayStation games you bought, wasn't it? Before they were on PlayStation Plus.
Move on. Someone else's turn. Come on.
Yeah, so I'll go next. My pick is one of my favorite games is Knights of the Old Republic, the first one.
Ooh.
KOTOR, as it's more commonly known. I'd like a full top to bottom remake in the style of an ARPG for that one. as it is. It's almost like it's not turn by turn. It is kind of, I would maybe say, borderline ARPG, but kind of more fluid version of that, like Final Fantasy 12 or Xenoblade. Great story. It is kind of hailed as one of the best games ever for those that might not know. Well worth a play. I would love a top to bottom remake on it. I've not gone back to it. That's a lie. I have gone back to it a couple of times and not managed to get all the way through it. But it is one of the first games that gripped me, like in that kind of way. I don't think I'd played a game like that.
Did you play it on the OG
PC.
Xbox? Oh, PC.
No, I played it on the PC. Like when it was first released.
Nerd alert!
on my family PC.
Oh, the PC!
It was either that or go to Packard Bell Navigator. Those were the two options. So I think 2002 or something.
Yeah. Funnily enough, that I just bought that for the Xbox.
I also have on the Xbox. I've not
It's
on
on
booted it
sale
up
at the
yet.
moment. It's like £3
Yeah.
on the Xbox store.
There you go.
So
Everyone go and buy it.
I'm going to give it a go one day.
Because it was made by the same people who did Mass Effect or Dead Space, whatever one. They
Whatever.
merge in my head and into one game. But whoever did, guys who done KOTOR, BioWare. That's it, BioWare.
Bioware.
Is KOTOR the original one better than the sequel? Or
Yes,
it is it?
it is. Yeah,
Facts.
the sequel's still good, but the first one's better. And I think it's still canon as well.
Right, okay.
Right. So remake both of them though,
Yeah,
and then bring out a new one.
Alex in the chat is just desperately keeping us honest here. It's quite funny. He just keeps on coming, BioWare. And then he's it's the best is this comment. He says there's still rumors a Knights of the Old Republic remake is in the works somewhere.
Somewhere.
Could be anywhere. Somewhere.
because they done the online game. That's all I know about
Jake?
it. They done the
Jason's
Does it get?
Jason's saying
Sorry.
he's got strategy guides for both KOTOR 1 and 2. So he's out nerded you, Lewis.
But he's got the has he played them? I mean, I could go and buy a book if I wanted, but it doesn't mean I played the game. I've got the strategy guides for these. Have you played them, Jason? Come on.
They were just books. No, it was a game.
Love it.
Sorry, Mark, were you going to...
I was just thinking about. Do you ever get teased? You know, like Ocarina of Time. Occasionally, it will pop up, and they'll have developed the Unreal Engine version a little bit more. They'll show more beautiful bits of it. Does that happen with these other games as well, like KOTOR?
Nah, not to my knowledge anyway.
No. You get a lot of
If you don't get teased by it.
there's quite a lot of literature around it, I think, in that kind of area, but I think that area of Star Wars isn't canon anymore post Disney.
Gutting
I
that.
know. I don't think so. I don't know of any. Is it Darth Raven or whatever his name is?
Darth Revan, yeah.
Yeah. So you get the odd like, being an avid collector, you get the odd like toy of him that kind of crop up on like different releases of Black Series. Fuck off, Ben. And then you get like the odd bit like alluding to that kind of space, but I don't think any of it's canon to my knowledge. Jason has to keep me honest there, and Alex as well, but I don't think it's canon. So,
What does your strategy guide say, Jason? Come on. It's out of date now. Not canon. Come on. All right. Dan, what about you?
yeah. So I don't know if you guys have ever played a game called Dungeon Keeper at all. So Bullfrog, remember them developers back in the day? So the theme park
guys, yeah.
Theme Park, Team Hospital, Syndicate, but they did the Dungeon Keeper series as well, which again was like a strategy game similar to like Theme Park, etc. Headed up by, I think it was founded by Peter Molyneux, so the guy that then went to do Lion's Head Studios, which was Fable. So as a game, I spent so much time on it when I was younger. So the first and the second game. And it was back in the day when you go to, the only place to buy PC games was PC World. You couldn't go in like, get on the Steam store and do all the things that the kids do now. And these giant fucking boxes were like just there for PC games. I was like, that's got a picture on the front of it that scares the living daylights out of me. So as a young 12-year-old male, I want that game. For some reason, my parents allowed me to have it, and it was an 18-year-old. And then it's all about having this. You are a dungeon master. you're this kind of like omnipotent creature that can drag and drop imps and like knock through walls and like build out a dungeon. So you use your imps as like little workers. They're like going through all of it, and then you build like a home for all certain creatures to appear. But for like a spider creature to come through the portal into your dungeon, you need to create like a training area, and then to get like different kind of like there's a bile demon, which is the main kind of big fat thing that I probably used to love. It's got like horns and then balls, like ball and chains on the sides of its head, and it just like swings back and forth. You have to build like a real massive version of the food area. So it's all like, it was really intricate, really fun game, but in like modern day graphics, it'd be incredible. And I think people are already speaking here saying your minions are fighting amongst themselves. Yeah, like literally would happen if you had flies and spiders in the same area. But it was just such a fun game. And I think playing stuff like 2 Point Hospital recently really gave me like a hankering for that area of like these proper strategy games. I just love to see someone do something with it. I think the last time I saw this game was, you can still download it now and play it through some kind of emulator, but you can get like a mobile
£4.50
version
from GOG.
Yeah,
Is that what I'm saying?
yeah, you can get
Something
like
like
a mobile version of it as well, which is not great. And I think that's one of these where you go back the next day and you've used all your clicks and you need to go and do it. So I was like, I'm not
Oh,
playing that.
jeez. Yeah.
But yeah, like,
Danny, I've got a question, mate.
go for it, mate.
I've got a question about this. Have you ever heard of the game Dungeons 3?
No.
According to multiple reviewers,
I thought it was going to be
it's
it.
a game that's very similar to
Oh.
Dungeon Keeper 2.
I'm going to look.
It's a dungeon building video game with real-time strategy elements, and it came out in October 2017, and it was on
Oh.
Xbox One, PS4.
Oh.
And it looks quite similar, actually, so you might
That actually
have a
looks
play around with that and see what you think.
exceptionally similar.
Report
mate.
back.
That is very, very cool. Thank you. I've never ever thought to look for a game like that. So,
Great research, Mark. Great
Yeah.
research.
Mm.
Great to have you on board again.
Just
but I would say even now, like it's not the like best graphically, but as a game and the functionality behind it, it was one of those kind of like PC games that I was always so happy to have. And I must have plowed maybe like 700 hours into it when I was a child. So yeah, I would love to see that remastered.
Christ.
Yeah.
Maybe we will get a 2 Point dungeon because there's 2 Point Hospital. They're making 2 Point Campus next, aren't they?
Oh,
Yeah.
right, okay.
Maybe they'll do a dungeon one and a theme park one. Would be nice.
I would be very happy with that. I'd be ecstatic because yeah, as an IP, that was fucking cool, really cool.
Nice pick.
You saying that though, Dan, like, why were the PC boxes so big?
I've no idea, but
I remember that.
It was
I
even
totally
fun,
forgot about
the
it.
bigger the box, the better the game.
yeah,
That was
That's
it.
the rule.
But I remember getting
Yeah.
Super Metroid in a giant box as well.
Yeah.
Being exactly the same and like huge manual
Lilac Wars.
inside it that scared the life out of me before I even played the game because it was talking like proper scary
You think
shit.
Remember
shit problems? I've got tiny
Street
hands.
Fighter 2
You can use those
Turbo.
boxes.
In a tin. That was good.
Okay.
In a
Really?
big tin. Yeah.
Do you still have that?
No. Sold all my Super Nintendo games, as you know.
That could have been worth
That's
some
upsetting.
serious cash.
So sad.
Not
You mentioned,
See,
yeah,
Ben, it just shows you can be wrong about things, mate. I mean, Super Mario 64, for example, selling SNES games. They're all part of the same collection of wrongness.
It happens. It happens to the best of us.
you mentioned Peter Molyneux, Lion's Head, wanting to make the black and white games. I'd take a remaster of them just as we're moving
and
on.
Fable.
Here. They were-
I know we're getting one.
How many
but
did they do by the end?
What was that? Sorry.
What was it?
Sorry, Dan, what was that, mate?
No, sorry. I thought you asked the question. I said how many did they do?
I was asking Lewis, how many black and white games did they make by the end?
2.
2 was it? Yeah.
Or was it just okay?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, the way you sort of said it was like that with loads. I'm so sorry.
By the second one, that family PC couldn't cope, so I'd stick it in and like it would just freeze, and I couldn't. Like, it was unplayable. I assume it was good. Mark, what about you? What you bringing?
Well,
what you
yeah,
bringing forward?
I'm actually not pitching one that I want to see remastered. Actually, I'm picking my favorite remaster. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Because that
Yeah,
was
just ignore
part
the
of
question.
thing. Anyway,
yeah. Just do what you want, Mark.
Make your own shit up, mate.
okay, yeah. 'cause
Chicken tikka
I read-
masala. That's what
I
I've,
read I read Ben putting Ocarina of Time in there as like his favorite remaster, rather than what he wanted to see remastered. Anyway, so mine is Monkey Island 1 and 2, which were they did the special editions in 2009, 2010, and they did beautiful new graphics to make them look like Curse of Monkey Island, with like hand-drawn animation, and they did all new voice acting, and they tidied everything up. And given that Curse of Monkey Island is one of my favorite games ever, and I love the Monkey Island games so much, overhype. If anyone hasn't played Monkey Island 1 or 2, they're available on loads of platforms. Steam, the Steam Deck. You can get it on that probably.
All the platforms.
All of them.
So many platforms. Those are the two platforms. No,
I
they were
think it's on.
they
I
were
think it's on
the
Xbox.
phone.
I'm pretty sure I picked it up on Games with Gold years and years ago.
So great.
Yeah.
And big issue for me was, we love playing point and click games here, and those are obviously the pinnacle of point and click games.
Well, I don't speak for all of us.
Yeah, Broken Arrow. Is that what it's called?
When I say here, I mean Christine and I in my house, and the various children.
Jesus.
She won't play a game that's heavily pixelated, which is obviously a problem with the original Monkey Island 1 and 2. But with the remasters, she loves those, and so we were able to play them all the way through. Just a lovely little story about how a remaster of a game can bring people together.
Wow,
Nice.
That's the end
So-
of my story.
so heartfelt.
Yeah.
You've done the classic tactic of trying to end on a heartfelt moment
was
for
my
ignoring the actual question.
Yeah.
I like it.
I'm going to ruin that but just by clarifying. I said Broken Arrow there. I meant Broken Sword.
It's okay.
Broken
don't worry.
Sword, yeah.
Okay.
Which is
Fine.
actually not as good as
Nobody knows.
No one knows.
Monkey Island, but
It's
anyway.
fine.
But it says here, look, on I think it actually
great
says
movie.
most wanted,
Mm.
favorite HD remakes and remasters. So I was just going for the favorite.
Quite all right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fine.
fair enough.
Fine.
We've started.
All right. Anything else?
I was going to say we've started like a conversation about strategy games in chat. Populous, that was another really good one. Do you remember that game? That was amazing, fantastic game. There was one called
Recall the name.
Beast and Bumpkins as well. I can't remember who the hell developed it. I only had a demo for it, but the demo lasted like 3 hours, and it was absolutely batshit crazy. Where you just like have to get like a load of just a really really small town to kind of like grow and grow and grow. But yeah, I need to find out about that because I've got a weird memory of it, and it might be a fever dream. I'm not sure.
Oh,
Anyone in
right.
the chat mentioning Monkey Island? Or
Yeah.
No.
No, not yet. No, I loved Monkey Island. I really loved it. I went from that and went on to the old Grim Fandango game and all of the. What was the other one? Sam and Max, was it? Were they the other
Sam and
point-
Max, yeah.
Yeah, point and click games.
Yeah.
There's quite a few point and click games I used to play.
Classics.
What else was it? There?
Day of the Tentacle.
Day of the Tentacle. Yeah, that's another good one.
Yeah. They've done a
It's a
remaster.
genre. I've never got into that genre either. I
Hmm.
just can't. It doesn't click with me.
Oh,
Just add that with the whole Super Mario
Good
64
night, everyone.
wrongness, selling the SNES games, put it in there. Then I can, if I put it in there, I can just walk away. I don't have to yell at
Yeah.
you.
Put it in your Ben. Ben is an idiot box. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ben bin.
Yeah. Oh, it's not so much a box; it's like a warehouse. Anyway,
brilliant.
All right. Shall we move on to pick up and play?
Let's.
Pick up and play. A section where we speak about things we've picked up and other stuff that we've played. Ben, you're my go-to guy. I like coming to you first.
Wow.
Wow.
Do you want to do both pick up and play for us?
I'm gonna sleep with you, Lewis.
Shit, man. It's been so long since we wrote the show notes.
It's
can't
been-
even remember. I think I can. No, I've got this. So I pre-ordered the Steam Deck. That's my pick up.
Oh my word! Has
Yeah.
he? Has he actually done it?
I've done it. I don't know why I've done it, but I've done it.
Because you got a shit
Done.
PC. That's why.
I haven't got a PC,
Exactly.
so I've got no way of playing nerdy games. So
What one?
the big boy one.
Oh, Ben,
Wow.
what are you doing?
Oh
Well,
my God.
the thing, the way I'm justifying it to
Peloton
myself
Just buy
is
a PC.
why would I buy a PC?
Because it's just same price.
It's not the same price. You said last week, oh, you could get a fucking graphics card for that. Like, great.
Yeah, buy a graphics card for that then.
And do what with it? Stare at a graphics card?
Yeah, well, but like literally put £200
This is
together,
great.
get a decent motherboard and a half decent processor, and get it all bundled together.
How much is that?
Well, hold on.
And can I-
Oh, 600 quid plus £200. How much is that, man? £800, Ben.
Is that actually going to be £800?
It will,
And
like,
can
you
I
could probably
can I play it on the toilet?
No, you can't. But you could probably
No.
play it without having all the faff that the Stream Deck comes
I
with.
do not want to sit down at a desk and play games.
At all.
I've never
Just wants
wanted
play.
to.
Standing up.
I'm gonna-
Non-stop.
Don't ever. No, I mean I like playing handheld. That's my primary way of playing video games. So yeah, this is a good way to do that. Whack some
I'm gonna-
emulators on there, put Game
Yeah.
Pass on there, Stadia, load it up.
Stadia.
It's got everything. Stadia. Sorry.
I'm going to be very interested to hear your thoughts on the controllers because they're quite tight up the top.
They are, but I think it was Tom Marks from IGN when he did his sort of first look at it. He said, although it looks weird because there's grips on the back, it's not a flat piece of plastic like the Switch is. There's kind of grips behind it, so it kind of your thumbs do naturally. If you think about it, your thumbs. Anyone watching this will be easy to describe, but your thumbs don't naturally go where you put them on a Joy-Con or a Pro controller. They actually rest upwards, which is where they would be on the Steam Deck.
But what about when you use that weird little touch mouse pad thing? Isn't
I'm
that
not,
down?
nobody's going to use. I'm not going to play point and click games, Dan. I'm going to play little indie games. I'm going to be playing Loop Hero. I'm paying £600 to play Loop Hero, a £10 game.
Use your finger.
What?
You use your finger. Yeah. So no, I'm excited. It's just fun. It's different. I've never owned anything like it. The fact that you can dock it and play, on the TV as well, just using a USB hub, is pretty nifty. So yeah, someone's got to buy it. Like
Yeah.
we can't all,
Yeah.
I'm happy
Not-
that you're buying it, Ben.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I'd have
Happy
more
that it's
respect
me.
for you if you bought a Playdate at this stage. That's an atrocious decision.
Would you like me to read out some of the games that are on the Playdate? Because I've been looking at them.
Yeah, no.
not relevant.
Mark's pre-ordered one of them as well. It's all gone to shit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
now.
it's
I'm open-minded about it. I just thought, do you know what? I don't know the first thing about PC gaming, and this is a good way for me to do it in a form factor that I think I might actually use it, rather than a giant see-through tower with RGB lights and little figurines inside it. Some sort of nonsense.
Point and click. Point and click. Oh, he's gone. I thought Dan was really into this. I thought of everyone here, he was the most excited about it until right
I'm
now.
not. I'm not.
This
As
is what
I
happens.
was until.
And then I order it, and suddenly
ordered
he's,
it.
oh shit, mate! Should have
Oh.
got a graphics card and just looked at that.
All right, sit there with your Corsair chair. You fucking nonce. Yeah, it's more when you get down to the
Cat.
brass tacks of it. Sponsor. When you get down to the brass tacks of it, it's the fact that it comes in 3 different versions. So you bought the better one, which is fine. So you're not really navigating the shit trip that's the other two are kind of bringing to it. But you could have bought a PlayStation 5. You could have got all the exclusives for that. You could have bought a PlayStation 5 in 3 games.
PlayStation 5 is just not as appealing. It's just too old school. I don't like sitting. I don't like being chained to a TV. I like being able to play. Handheld. It's 75% of what I play is handheld. So I think it's money better spent
I think.
and cheaper games. Look how cheap stuff is on Steam
Oh yeah, definitely.
compared to what 70, 60, maybe £50 if you're lucky for a PS5 game. Crazy.
The amount of games that come to the PC as well, it's a no-brainer because everything is as well. And weirdly, you're probably going to be able to play PlayStation games through the Steam Deck.
Yeah. Well, and certainly they are PlayStation ahead in that direction as well, aren't they? Of
Yeah.
pushing stuff across.
Very, very
I'm
nice.
just interested. It's a curio, and it's not shipping until like Q2 of next year. So I've
thought
got
it's-
time to change my mind.
I thought it was earlier this year. Oh, sorry, like Q4.
No, I think the highest end model is later on
The posh
than
one.
that. I think
Posh ones.
I didn't get the first. I didn't get in the first wave of it. I kind of deliberated and then got overexcited and then thought, yeah, come on, let's have it.
I am interested. I'm curious.
I can't wait for the first podcast after you get it.
Yeah,
Get those tasty, tasty first impressions.
unboxing.
Let's get an extra bit of artwork. It's just cardboard, Ben.
He'll still be 0 at Mario, but at least he'll have that.
By then, yeah, exactly. And did you want my play, or do you want to go around everyone else's pickups?
No, let's go. Let's do both
you mean?
together. Yeah.
All right. I have been playing Death's Door on Xbox, and oh baby, it is. I'm not going to say it's the greatest game of all time, but it is probably my favorite new game that
go
I've
on.
played this year.
Right. Well, what do
Come
you?
on, hype
So
it,
when
man. Hype it.
Wait, I want them to define new game. As in game that came out in
Game
2020.
that's come out this year. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
I was going to say, I was going to go Ori, but that came out.
it's
last
not.
year.
Yeah, it's not above Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Don't worry. But it is. It's a phenomenal game. The first. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but the art style is obviously gorgeous. It runs flawlessly on the Series X. But the first game that it reminded me of, and it's reminded me of about 5 or 6 different games, but the first one was Bloodborne, weirdly,
Okay.
because you sort of working your way through this world, and then you find a little gate that opens up a pathway straight back to the beginning. And there's a door at the beginning where you can go back to this hub world, which is just like the Hunter's Dream in Bloodborne, where you can like upgrade your weapons and then go into another door, and you know, kind of rinse and repeat that. And even the combat has got that kind of risk reward thing that Bloodborne's got. Not quite the same as, you know, you get your health back if you can attack them quickly enough. It's you have to do a melee attack in order to get your power to do ranged attacks back. So you've got you start off with 4 slots basically for doing ranged attacks, and you obviously every time you use the ranged attack, then you lose one. But if you do a melee attack, you get one back again. So it's got that about it as well.
I'm racking my brain here. I'm struggling to remember the Bloodborne quotes. Go and just reel one off for me.
You plague-ridden rat. There's one.
Thanks.
Yeah, there's one. This is a damn curse. 2 extra bonus one for you.
Got another one for you.
Ben, mate. Just zoom back a second. Tell us. Oh, it's
Go
really
on. Go on.
good. Tell us what type of game is it at all? Like,
So
you said
it is-
Bloodborne, but obviously it doesn't.
Yeah, so it's not. It's a mishmash of several different genres. I think if you had to say it was one, it would be an action adventure in the style of a 2D Zelda. You know, you're going around the kind of the overworld, and then you go into dungeons, and there's like 3 main dungeons that I'm aware of. You have to get the souls of the big bosses at the end of it. During the course of the dungeon, you get some sort of power that will then help you defeat that boss, you know, kind of in that classic Zelda style. That power will also open up pathways to new areas of the overworld. So for I think the first you get a bow and arrow to start with, but then after that you get this kind of fireball thing, so you can light lanterns in the overworld that will then open doors. All really kind of Zelda-ish stuff, but that's all kind of it's quite Metroidvania as well, because
Hyper Light Drifter. I'm hearing.
exactly, and it did. That was the other game that it kind of reminded me of was Hyper Light Drifter. It's a bit more, despite it being about death. So you play as this crow who is a reaper that has to go and reap souls, but then you get kind of the story pushes you towards reaping the souls of these big sort of monsters, as it were, and it's quite light-hearted. So it's got a kind of it's Hollow Knighty in a way that it's sort of it's got that quirkiness, and creepiness about it. But with the sort of levity and the writing, it's quite funny. I think it's made by two British guys. I think they're based in Manchester, and it's quite funny. You can kind of see that in the writing. It's very sort of silly. I just love it. I can't put it down. I think I'm about 2/3 of the way through it now. I think it's only about a 10-hour game, but it's I could definitely can see myself finishing it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's,
very
I think it's like
excited.
16.
That's beautiful.
On you go, Mark.
Oh, it just sounds exactly my cup of tea. I can't wait for it to come to Switch so I can play it. You asked me
Yeah,
earlier,
that-
would I get a PS5? It's like this sort of thing that would make me get something, an Xbox or whatever, those other things you were talking about, to play this.
They're all the same to me.
It's almost like, yeah. It was like, I thought it might be on Game Pass, and I was a bit disappointed when it wasn't. I think it's £16 on
Yeah,
Xbox, but it's one of these. I think I'm willing. When you, because my concern was because of what I'd seen of it, and all I'd seen of it was what was on your Twitter, Ben. It looked a lot like Hades to me, and I was like, no thanks, I'm going to just avoid this game. But when you said it wasn't a roguelike or whatever, roguelike /
Yeah.
light, sorry, I'm disappearing with it. There we go. That kind of brought me round. So
Yeah.
it's one of these games I would rather play on Switch. Just if it does come, anyway, I'd hope it does.
It
Just
will.
with the kind of game it is, it would for me suit that form factor more than that you were saying being chained to the TV.
yeah. Although
Or
ironically,
dare
I
I
have
say it, Steam Deck. Sorry, mate.
yeah, but I have actually played the vast majority of it on the TV because it's a gorgeous looking game. Like it's really pretty. But yeah, it does look like a roguelike, and I think people and I, when I first saw it, probably dismissed it as just it's another kind of Hades clone, like Curse of the Dead Gods. I kind of dismissed that because it just looked like a Hades ripoff. Although I've heard nothing but good things about that as well. I did the same with this, but then you see the review scores come out, and it was just this list of like 9s, 8.5, 9.5. I just thought, you know what, I'll give that a go. But one thing that is strange, it's the fact it isn't on Game Pass. I realised that the games I've put the most time into on the Xbox since getting it are games that aren't on Game Pass. I don't know if that's something psychological, but I went out and bought Yakuza Like a Dragon before that was on Game Pass and played 30, 40 hours of that.
Yeah.
I've now played this. This is probably my second most played game on the Xbox, and it's one that I've bought. I guess you just put more value on
Yeah.
stuff that you've actually paid for. It's almost like the Game Pass stuff is a bit disposable. But that's probably a topic for another day. But Death's Door, I can't recommend it highly enough, and I'm looking forward to us being able to give it away to somebody, a copy,
Ooh.
later on in this very episode.
Lovely. I had to look this up because it was annoying me. The Bloodborne quote that I was thinking of was, "This turn's finished." That's all I wanted to say.
Brilliant.
That was all I wanted to say.
And it is, as if you needed any more of a seal of approval, it is published by Devolver Digital, and they have
Cool.
just got the best track record. So
Can do no wrong.
Do very little, do they?
All right, I'm gonna go next. My pickup, one of many pickups this week, the week that Zelda was released. I got the Blasphemous Deluxe Edition delivered last week. A game that I played the demo, I'd seen the kind of trailers for it, and it just put the shits right up me. The imagery in this game really kind of freaks me out a little bit, and it did put me off. But when I seen there was a physical, I was like, "Oh, a physical! Let's get that." So I have been looking forward to jumping into it properly.
Do you think you'll be
Metroidvania.
less scared of it now that you've got it in physical? Like,
Yeah, well now there's
Does it
like I'm just opening up there. It comes with stickers, so I'm gonna stick these around my bed when I go to sleep. So the last thing I see when I go to bed.
just
yeah, I was
sort
like,
of
it just-
acclimatising
it's-
to the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think the brutality of it, I was like, oh, this is it's a bit much for me, but I am looking forward to playing it. I think, Mark, we're going to play through it at the same time, maybe.
Yeah, man, let's do it.
I really
I've
wanted you
not
to leave
played
them
it.
hanging.
Yeah, I was like,
No, kind of busy.
What are you talking about? Yeah, so what does it come with? It comes with some stickers, a digital soundtrack, a digital comic, digital art book, and a couple of skins, and a map. I've got the map in my hand here. Now, this is the map of Custodia, I'm guessing it's called. And all this is just a big, it's just a load of brown, look.
Nice.
It's like nothing. It's just it's like a landscape.
It's not.
Can I just
Not even
interject,
really a
Lewis?
map,
You've reminded me of one more thing about Death's Door. There's no map.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
that's
which is very
quite nice.
strange for a game like this, but it kind of works. But yeah, just worth mentioning for any
No,
map
Salt and
fans
Sanctuary
out there.
doesn't have a map.
I know a lot of that puts people off a game. That
Yeah. Anyway,
map.
how'd you work?
Yep.
so that, yeah, I am looking forward to playing it. I've got a few games that I'd like to get through first, but I think I have heard lots and lots of good things about Blasphemous. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Is there a lot of blasphemy in the game?
I guess
That would be pretty funny.
Would be, wouldn't it?
A lot of the. It's not so much funny. A lot of the imagery, I think, the stuff that was freaking Lewis out with his sort of
Okay.
Catholic upbringing.
like the
Sort of
baby with the
scary.
bandage over its eyes. It's like blood coming out. Just yeah, didn't like it.
But that isn't directly blasphemous, is it? Really?
No.
No, I mean, that's fine.
No.
If it was like a condom,
Maybe.
blood.
Still not blasphemous, is it? It would only be blasphemous if it was like baby Jesus or something.
Or just
If the condom was
soundtracks,
saying Jesus titty fucking Christ,
yeah.
then
Yep,
that might be.
that would be good. That
It's
would
not an
be good.
Adult
that would
Swim
work.
game. Yeah, I have recently changed my played over the last few days. I had been playing Skyward Sword, which I still am, but over the last 24 hours, I have been playing a lot of Metroid Zero Mission, and my, is that a good game?
Okay.
That is, as mentioned earlier on, at the moment, I've not finished it yet. I'd probably put it above Super Metroid just because of how it plays. It's far more fluid and easy to control. I don't know if it's just that. I mean, there is like 7 or 8 years between both games, and it does reap that kind of benefit. It's just so addictive, and I'm just kind of blasting through it. I done Kraid earlier on today, and happy that I'm finding quite a lot of like missile upgrades and stuff like that. But yeah, so Zero Mission is a remake of the first game, and I want to play the rest of them before Dread comes out in October. But I
How are
didn't
you going to play
expect.
Samus Returns? You thought about that?
I've not
that-
thought about that.
That would be the
But
next one, wouldn't it?
you said you ought to play it as well. So I am assuming that you're going to be investigating for me. For
I'll do the work. Well, how much did you pay for Zero Mission? Because it's quite a rare game. So where did
That's
you?
that's a great
Where did you
question,
pick
Ben.
that up from?
My next door neighbour gave me a loan of it.
What? I'm surprised that a 78-year-old would be that into.
Yeah, I mean, like, they went, you want a shot? I was like, yeah, fine, thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So all he's got is like a single malt collection and a Metroid collection. That's
Yeah.
what he's got.
That's it. That's it.
Much like yourself, Mark.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't expecting for it to hook me quite as much as it is.
What is the
Really?
step up from Super Metroid to this? What is better about this?
It's difficult.
Is there less kind of not knowing what the fuck you're supposed to be doing?
Yeah, it
Right,
does. So they can. Is it, what are they called again? Is it Chozo? The Chozo or whatever it is. So the statues you find, you
Chorizo.
can. The Chorizo.
Chorizo.
You can find them, and you can go, and it will give you give you the map markers, and it'll almost like go, okay, you could go here to this elevator. You go in and around, and it'll point you in that direction. It's just overall more easy to understand what to do. Now, I don't know if that comes off the back of me just completing Super Metroid for the first time last month. So that might be there, that muscle memory or whatever is still there. 'Cause it's the same place, but it just
Have they-
feels a lot
Have
easier
they
to.
sorted the controls out? Because the controls in Super Metroid are terrible.
Yeah,
Whoa, Lewis, just stop for a second. Just stop for a second,
Yeah.
because someone here, like one of the four of us seems to be throwing some shade at Super Metroid. Is that accurate? Is that actually accurate? Do I need to put this in the warehouse of shit that someone
You're gonna need a bigger
has
warehouse.
already? Are you actually?
No,
you're
no,
not just winding me up.
no.
He's not winding me up, is he?
I am just winding you up. I'm winding you up.
He's winding me up. He's
It's
winding me up.
it's a lovely, perfect, lovely little game. But the controls are a bit strange. I stand by that.
It's easier, so like it's easier to kind of do what you want.
Carry on, Lewis.
It's easier to do what you want in Metroid Zero Mission. I've not got the wall jump yet. Now I will say, Mark, in Super Metroid when I got wall jump, don't get me started. I was stuck at like long kind of.
That is true.
That was
That
a
is
pain in
very
the
true,
arse.
Nick. I was doing that just a couple of weeks ago, stuck on that damn column bit where you've got to wall jump up, and those little
Yeah.
gremlin
Thing-
things keep running past you, wall jumping perfectly.
Yeah.
You have to do it as if you're some sort of gremlin like yourself. But you're not a
Yeah.
gremlin.
You're not.
Samus, and it's basically impossible.
Yeah.
It's-
There's one
it's-
bit
it's-
in that.
It's 1% off impossible.
Yeah.
And I
Because
hate
it's the bit
it.
when
So
you get to the
that's
top
a
and there's the
fair-
little flying things that like knock you back down again. You're like, come on.
Oh my God.
Frustrating.
Painful.
So I'm not.
But that's a frustrating aspect.
Ben's doing a lorry and he's literally tweeting right now, going, "Super
Yeah.
Metroid is an average game." Argue with me.
If
I
Ben
don't-
had said
Controls
something
on
about
those
the wall
games.
jumping or something legitimate, then fair play. But
Yeah, it's
you've done that, Lewis. Well played. I'm still saluting you. Ben,
thanks.
not nonsense. I've just heard nothing from nonsense at the beginning of this show. You know. Apart from this love of Death's Door, which seems to be good.
Yeah. So I would say ask your next door neighbours to
Still
see if they have a copy of Zero Mission and
Never
play
played
it.
Zero
It's
Mission. I'm so angry. I'm so angry that I've never
it's
played
a
it.
very good. It's very very good.
So I just want to talk through how you got this off the next door neighbor. So
Yeah.
did they mention it over the? Did you mention it, or how did
I
that
think
come up?
it was to do with. So when we watched the Nintendo E3 Direct, I was excited. I remember going like, "Yes, Metroid Dread! I haven't played Zero Mission as yet." And my window was open, so they must have heard me. And so they chapped on my door and said, "By the way, Lewis, I've got a copy of Zero Mission. Do you want to play?" I was like, "I'm still playing through Super Metroid at the moment. Give me a month and a half." And yesterday,
And
that was the day.
Is this old man at your window quite a lot?
Is
You
that
may
the
or
trip
may-
that hands you beer?
Zero Mission. So you can only get it on what, Game Boy Advance? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
advanced.
£99 is the cheapest I can find.
Mm,
So are you playing it on the Game Boy Advance then, Lewis?
yes, I am.
Did it give you his Game Boy Advance?
How big's the
no,
cart?
I've got a copy.
What's the
It's
cart
quite-
smell
it's,
like?
It's long. It's a long cart. It's
Is it a
I'm
tasty
playing on
one?
an SP.
What's the colour of the sticker on the front of it?
It's black with.
It's not black. It's blue. He's lying.
No, that's the copy. Maybe he got his from a market or something. I
If
don't
I
know.
find
They're all
out
blue.
that you've acquired this illegally, so help me God.
I got it from my next door neighbour. That's. I don't know where he
Who knows
got
where
it
He got it from.
exactly.
You wouldn't steal a car.
Yeah.
What,
Def-
just-
if you-
I'm
if
just
you
making some
can-
notes here. What's the name of this next door neighbor, Lewis? What's it?
You later.
Callum. Yeah.
Oh,
He's
Mr.
not. He's
Mr.
not.
Break.
Come on. He's not.
First
No,
in
no, no.
jail.
Give him some credit. His name's Romuald.
Rommel M.
Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, so that's what I'm playing. Very
a
good.
name.
You
That's a
should
name.
definitely give it a go.
I'll give it a go.
I will as well.
Definitely.
From Ronald.
Yes.
You've got it as well, have you, Ben? That's weird.
Oh, if Lewis, once you finish, you could post it to me.
I'll need to ask Romuald.
Oh dear.
So that's me. Who wants to go? Who wants to go next? Who we had? Ben and me. What about Dan?
Okay, so picked up Persona 4 Golden on the Vita, which I'm very much looking forward to playing. Coveted is probably like the best.
Dan,
Vita
can I just
game.
ask, did you pay for that game?
Oh, There it
Visual
is.
evidence.
There you go. There's
Visual
the
evidence.
There you
Lewis,
go.
just
I mean,
show us your copy of.
It's, down, it's
show it
actually it's honestly downstairs. But Dan sets up all these overlays, so and he's got a green screen, so that's probably just trickery, camera trickery.
Nope.
Wizard.
It's legit. Legit. That's.
Have you? So you haven't played it yet, Dan? No?
I played 10 minutes of it and then switched
Yeah.
off the Vita and then forgot that when you switch off your Vita, it's not like the Switch where it saves your progress. So I was like, nightmare. But yeah, I
You put it in
played
for the purpose of that photo that you sent into WhatsApp.
quite literally. Quite literally the whole reason of doing it was like I better switch it on just to show people that I bought it and therefore I can brag about it.
I never have to play it again. Thank fuck for that.
I know, yeah, that's it now. I've got it. £45 it cost me pre-owned, so not cheap, but it does keep its value, to be honest. So it seems fine, and the person I bought it off, the case was like immaculate, and the game itself is fine. So the Vita, however, did not recognise the cart for about 5 minutes, which panicked the shit out of me. So that console does not date well. So if you are thinking about getting up a second-hand Vita, be very careful, because memory cards that you get for it are notoriously faulty, especially 64GB ones, and the console itself doesn't seem to recognize carts very easily at times. So yeah, be careful when you get one. Get one that's good, not like mine that's been thrown around and kept in sandpaper. Not great. But I played maybe like 4 or 5 hours of it on the Vita before. I've got a digital version of it. I just couldn't be arsed buying another memory card because, like I said, the last two that I've owned have both degraded that bad that I can't even recognize it within the console. So I thought I'd just go for the card itself. Plus, like I said, it's a good investment piece. That was my argument to the missus, where it's not really going to go down in price anytime soon. So the £45 made sense. But yeah, looking forward to jump into it. And like Ben was saying before, I am of the same mindset that we can play more in bed. That kind of winding down period, like the last hour or two, when normally I pick up a book, picking up the Vita and playing Persona 4 Golden, I'm quite looking forward to.
Books are shit anyway, aren't they?
Books are just all
Sorry, Mark. That was just I'm just froze the fact. I'm just being silly.
That's another one for the warehouse. It's not like the wank bank, the warehouse.
no
It's
room
like
there.
the polar opposite, isn't it? It's things to hate him about. So yeah, what I've been playing, unless there's any questions about Persona 4's box and or cart, because that's literally as far as I've got with that game.
No.
It's
What,
not-
but no, I'm
very
curious. What are the
nice
Vita?
just to see
What
a
are the
box.
Vita cards?
you know.
The Vita cart,
It's nice to see.
the cart's in the Vita, and the Vita's upstairs. But the yeah, it's very similar to like a Switch cart. Very similar.
Is it okay?
size.
Because the
Yeah.
PSP was that like mini disc style
UMD.
thing.
Yeah, the UMDs. Yeah, they're huge.
UMD. That was it.
But yeah, just exceptionally, really similar to the Switch. So that's fine.
Cool.
It'd be great if you could hold it up so we could see it.
I could,
Size
but
comparison with the advanced game that Lewis has got.
no, it's fine.
Downstairs.
We could
That'd be
compare it. That would be quite good. I'm pretty sure Lewis doesn't have one though. So yeah, I've been playing
Different room.
different room. Been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, so I've talked about it quite a lot on the pod, but it really clicked recently. So I'd say I think I'm into the last maybe like 2-3 hours of the game. I've got up to the point that I think I recognise from the original, where it's like the end of disc 1, which is I think where the remake kind of ends. And I know there's meant to be like quite a few controversial like decisions made around the story coming up, which I'm really looking forward to. All of the part, if you know the original game, where Wall Market, where you're like basically trying to fly around there, Tifa gets captured, you need to go and get her out, and she's in the capture of like this absolute sex pest, where you need to then try and dress up as a woman in the game. And the way it fucking handles all of those themes with the very modern guys is phenomenal. Really clever. And the way it builds builds like the I'm trying to think of the right word here, like the velocity of like the story in that period is insane. Like usually in games, especially in JRPGs, you go from a really high octane area on like a boss battle, and then it kind of stages down, and you go like into a shop area, and then you kind of rebuild a little bit, and then there might be like a build up again to like the next kind of big boss. I'd say like the last 2-3 hours of this game, I've just been high octane, where it's just like action piece after set piece after set piece after set piece, and all of them have been phenomenal. Spending so much time in the photography mode in this game as well. It's stunning. There's definitely some aspects of it that aren't the best. Like when you look up at the like top part of Midgar where there's like plates, but where people live above you. Like the graphics on that part aren't great. It is a very flat surface, but every other aspect of this game is ridiculously good looking. The character models are just insane. So when you stop in photo mode, even if it's in a cutscene or just that point in the battle and then zoom in on a character's face, you're like, how the hell have they created something that perfect that literally moves in the same way that it will do in a cutscene? And I think with Final Fantasy, because the cutscenes were such a big pull of like the Squaresoft generation, to see that happening within a game is just, it's making the 12-year-old me absolutely like in awe of where games are coming up to. So it's a really lovely feeling. But yeah, in terms of the actual game itself, it's very, very quickly gone from I'd say a 6 and a 7 out of 10 to like a 9 out of 10.
Wow.
And if it ends in the same vein as that, then I'm really, really excited to see where they go with the second episode.
So yeah, I was how many episodes are they planning for this? Is it just the 2?
I think it's 3. I think remember rightly. So yeah, because it feels more linear like 13 did. I think it was 13. Yeah, linear like 13 did, where it's not really got the open world like Final Fantasy 7, the actual original game, did. I'm not bothered about that because at the moment I think everyone's kind of got similar vibes to what I have, where you've got maybe a bit jaded towards open world games. So going from that kind of real, how to think of an appropriate analogy, like just not enough depth in an open world, but then instead having this incredible amount of depth within a linear game is just really refreshing, especially when I've spent hundreds of hours, thousands of hours in the Final Fantasy worlds, in those open worlds. So yeah, it's exciting to see what they're going to do with number 2, but I don't know whether or not they're going to open the world up similar to what actually happens at the end of Disc 1 in the original game, where then you're just presented with the world map. So I don't know. I'm excited.
Cool. That's great. And I think every time I think of the remake, I think of the Dan Ward hero pose with the, what's the sword called?
Buster Sword, is it?
Yeah, Buster Sword. Yeah.
What a photo that is.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers. I appreciate that, and I do like that sword.
All right.
Similar Buster Sword's proportions, massive. Jason in the chat is saying, is Mark eating a corn dog or is that his fist? Mark? No comment.
He's not.
No, I am actually eating a corn dog.
Okay.
He's not a patron.
Mystery solved.
He's not a patron, so we can take the piss out of him. It's fine.
Dan, talking about Final Fantasy, can I just ask, are you excited about the pixel remasters?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a lot of love for the 1 through to 4. 5 and 6 I've got some affinity with because I played them, but 1 through to 4 I gave up after a couple of hours on it. Plus, just seems a really ham-fisted way of handling games that people really, really cared about. I actually quite like how Nintendo handled it in terms of bringing it out, putting them on cart, making sure they had some sort of decent release to it. But yeah, Square Enix are just trying to milk out every penny from a franchise, which has made them probably a couple of billion. So I don't really like it. It seems quite insidious. But yeah, bringing them out to consoles and sticking them on there for a couple of quid would have been the optimum route. But yeah, why they've done it on mobile, I don't know.
Let's hope that happens. Hope that happens down the track anyway.
Yeah, they're doing that thing that everyone seems to at the moment. Atlas being the worst for it, but with enough people buy it, then we'll think about it. It's fuck off. That's the worst part of marketing. Is when the CFO comes out and says some shit like that. It's fuck off, mate. Just bring them out. People want them.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to play that game. Just don't have the means to. Mark, on you go, mate.
Yeah, so I had a bit of disappointment earlier this week because Lewis was waving his Zelda Joy-Cons around. I got really excited about those, and I thought, wouldn't it be lovely? Wouldn't it be really, really lovely to play?
I was even trying to convince you as well.
Sword HD. What were you doing?
Convince you, separately when you're like, "Whoa, what about this?" I was like, "Yeah, but look at them. They're just,
He was
Fantastic.
teasing me with them. He was
It
like,
was.
yeah, like a hanky over them. He was just gradually revealing that. It was indecent. Let's just put it that way.
It's like comic book guy on The
And the
Simpsons
Joy-Con.
where he's trying to download the picture of Captain Janeway on 56k, and it's just coming down bit by bit.
That's what it was like. That's what it was like. And I'd spent half an hour waiting for him to reveal the hanky. I got about halfway and I thought, no, I'm gonna have to try and get hold of these puppies. So I ordered them on Amazon. You've heard of Amazon?
Small,
And
isn't
it's bloody had one of those messages going, we haven't been able to detect where your actual product has gone. We're trying to find out where it is. We'll give you a new update. And I was like, this is just bullshit. So I've cancelled that.
I've never
But
had a message like that from
Pick up
Amazon.
news.
How are you spelling Amazon? AMAAZO.
Have you not had a message like that?
No.
I've had a few with book orders. You pre-order a book and sometimes they can't actually find it. Boring. But as we've been talking, I've ordered the Playdate, obviously.
Of course.
But what I've been playing, much more excitingly, is Skyward Sword HD, which
Lovely.
haven't played it since playing it on the Wii, when had to wait like a ludicrous amount of time from the previous Zelda to play a Zelda, and I was sort of all in with the Wii at the time with motion controls, and I was quite sort of into it and quite excited about it, being a sucker of a Nintendo fanboy. So it was quite exciting playing it through on the Wii, and I did manage to sort of complete it on the Wii, which is quite rare for me to actually finish a game. Like, I've played hundreds of hours of Breath of the Wild and still never completed it. Still never just walked the Hyrule Castle and completed it, despite being ridiculously overpowered. I'd be much more likely just to restart it and go, oh no, I'm going to try and collect everything, rather than actually go and complete it. So the fact that I completed Skyward Sword is probably quite a positive thing.
Yeah.
And went into it with quite a lot of negative, very cautious approach to playing the HD version, because going through my experiences with Wind Waker, Twilight Princess on the Wii U, prior to that, Twilight Princess was one of my favorite Zelda games, and then my Wii U HD experience, it plummeted right down to the bottom of my 3D Zelda experiences. Whereas Wind Waker did the opposite. I really didn't enjoy it that much on the GameCube, and that the HD remake shot it right up to the top. So I was very cautious about how Skyward Sword was going to sort of fit into all of that. And so far, it really is just much more beautiful and engaging and exciting than I expected. And particularly, it's the first 3D Zelda that had a full orchestra doing the soundtrack and the music, and it's just a delight hearing that. And I can actually have Christine will be like humming along to it in the background because of playing Hyrule Warriors. She knows all the tunes because they're all in that. So yeah, really enjoying it so far. I haven't played a great deal because I've been really busy with work, but can't wait to carry on. The only issue I had was the first time flying, doing the training flying bit. And I'm pretty terrible at like reading any information that comes up on the screen. I'm so impatient. I'm like, skip, which totally backfired. So I ended up just like barreling into the clouds, and I couldn't get the bird to come back up. I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? And so I thought this is definitely a bug. The game is screwed. Nintendo, they've messed this up. It's got a massive bug in it. But then I restarted it, and you've got to actually like waggle.
Yeah.
You've actually got to waggle the Joy-Con.
So you are using motion controls then?
I'm going full in motion because that's how the game was supposed to be played. And so I want to go full in with that and see how it goes.
Have you tried handheld?
Only when I was stuck in the clouds. I thought, how can I get out of this? So I switched it to button controls, but I still couldn't get out of the clouds, so I just restarted it. But running around Skyloft, something that's really excited me about it that I really miss from Breath of the... I thought if the things I really want in Breath of the Wild 2 will be a return to having really wacky, zany characters, because my fondest memories of Zelda are you know, we talked about Majora's Mask earlier. It's all those weird, wacky characters. It is, for me anyway, the Tingle-like characters that other people seem to be a bit repulsed by. I find are so much part of the weird and wacky world that is fully there in the 2D ones, but then isn't quite there in Breath of the Wild, and is lovely to see back in full glory in Skyward Sword HD. And the other thing I love about Skyward Sword and the earlier 3D Zelda games is the collecting the insects. So I'm excited about collecting the insects. That's it, really. Done.
I love how imprecise the net is. You lock on an insect and you're still like
Yeah,
going nowhere.
I think that's part of the charm. You know, if you're trying to collect an insect in real life, they're buzzing around all over the place. It's difficult.
Yeah.
You know, your net in real life isn't just like a button where you're going A in real. You know, you've got to really get hold of that butterfly net in real life. You know, you're getting battered by the wind, and that's what the game's going to be like. So I'm excited to collect insects and then not eat them. You know, that's what Breath of the Wild had. You'd combine them in all sorts of potions and foods. But this, I just want to collect them just to have them, like Ben's collection of games.
What's that in your pocket? A fly.
A stag beetle.
It's. Do you know what? I was very surprised at how beautiful it still looks. It's really pretty. I've only played about an hour of it. I think I've just about.
It
got
never
mine.
looked this good as well. It never looked as good as it looked
Right.
now. So
I don't remember
HD
it being
application-
especially good looking. If anything, I remember the art style being a bit weird, but it looks really good now. So I'm quite impressed with it. I've only played it not with motion controls, and it will take a while to get used to, I think.
Yeah.
You know, holding down the L bumper to control the camera, and then letting go to use the R stick to do the sword swinging and stuff. It's not the most intuitive control scheme, but I do appreciate that at least they've given it a good go.
Yeah.
And you won't even give it a go at motion?
I mean, I'll try it. I can't see it being, as I said, I'm mostly a handheld guy, so that makes it very difficult. I literally can't think. I could get some. I could strap the Switch to like a mount on my head.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised how I was quite impressed by it, and it starts off quite quaint, and it doesn't get dark for a while, and quite like it. I've not been put off yet, which is good.
Yeah. I'm also playing through it, and I've tried both control methods, handheld controller and motion. Motion's about 90% of the time using that. Neither option's perfect. They're both quite flawed. Playing it with the controllers, it does take a bit of getting used to, because you maybe forget to hit L, and you're like, why is the camera not moving? And your sword's like waggling away and over the left hand side. But I didn't finish Skyward Sword, but then I've kind of mentioned before that I think that was more to do with motion control fatigue with the Wii more than anything else. I just got sick of the waggle physics or waggle controls, whatever you want to call it. But I've been pleasantly surprised by the game. Fee is still very annoying. There are a few of the mechanics that, unless you're searching for something specific, like there's a key you need to find, parts of a key you need to douse to find them. I get it for that, but when you're dousing for Zelda, Fee will pop up at the start level. Douse, I have funny feeling Zelda's been through here, and you go, well, there's only one way, and it's that way. Like, I'm going to guess it's that way? Like, the only way I can go? And it is, so it's like the bits that are pointless, but...
it does seem to be trying to take complete noobs to Zelda through the experience of playing a Zelda game for the first time, and I think that's probably because of how huge the Wii was. And this is a Zelda game you're going to play in that environment for the first time. It does seem to be doing that and leading you a little bit more than you'd expect in a Zelda game. I'm finding that at the beginning, and there's too many extreme close-ups on Zelda's face as well for my tastes. It just
It's the
Don't
lips,
do
though,
that
yeah.
too
Everyone
much.
seems to be pointing out the lips. They're
The
weird.
Link's lips are weird.
They're
I
weird.
didn't realise there was a moment. So I don't remember anything about this game. I think I gave up on the Wii version. I think I was in a desert bit when I just packed it in. But I don't remember any of it at all. And I didn't realise there's a kind of little love thing going on between Link and Zelda in this. Like right at the start, it's hinted at quite heavily,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's quite nice, quite touching. Although BMox in the chat puts a nail on the head. Said controls are gash though, and I haven't heard the word gash for about 5 years, and I love that. Well done.
Great work.
yeah, probably
Great.
10 years for me.
Great.
Actually. It's well played.
Yeah. Yeah. So you you have completed it, yeah? Ben, you've not, and I've not. Dan, have you?
Not asked.
You got the steelbook though, yeah?
No, didn't bother.
Oh, he cancelled.
Cancelled all of it. Cancelled the pre-order.
That's
Cancelled
do
the.
you know what? That's a lovely steelbook. I think that's the best steelbook I've got.
It's definitely not the best deal, but I've got better
Really
ones.
pretty.
No,
Really nice.
it's not. No interest at all in the game, so nearly bought it stupidly, but yeah, just everything shown, and I think it was the last kind of like part where it was kind of like announced one of the directs where it was like this game preceded Breath of the Wild, and then they went on to say why you should buy it based on the fact that Breath of the Wild was such a good game. It's like not really.
It's got a
keen.
stamina gauge.
Yeah, not
And,
really keen with
and the
fact
sailcloth.
yeah, no, that was basically what it was. It was like this
Yeah.
the first game that introduced this. It was like I don't like that part, so I don't really think I've gone to play that game yet. But I might pick it up at some point, and if I can find a cheaper copy in a couple of weeks, then maybe. But right now, it just isn't the type of game I want to play. And I think if you've got an affinity for the original, perfectly makes sense. And a lot of people say this is their favorite Zelda, which is perfectly fine as well. It just for some reason, even the remastered kind of graphic style of it just doesn't appeal to me. So
It's going to be interesting to know where it falls in everyone's rankings when they finish it. Like Lewis, I'm assuming you're probably a bit of a fan of the series.
Yeah, so this is the only one I've not finished. Of the 3D
Okay.
Zeldas, I've still not finished any of the 2D ones.
Oh my god!
No
Okay.
2D Zelda have I finished.
No,
Just
me
opening
neither.
a new warehouse over here. Just opening a new warehouse.
Yeah.
Very small. I
Lewis
feel like it's
like
just like a little drawer. Sock
More like
drawer or
it's like
something.
it's a rabbit hutch at the moment, but
Just outside.
there's room
my-
for upgrade.
I've nearly done A Link to the Past. Nearly. And I've been at that nearly stage for 2 years. But sorry, just
It's going
before
to be
we...
interesting.
No, you go.
I was just going to say like where this falls in the 3D rankings, because currently mine is Twilight Princess is at the bottom, and
Yeah, we should
It's
do a
gonna be
roundup
interesting to know
once
whether
this
the-
is done. See
Yeah,
where they'll last.
yeah.
See where they'll land. Before we do move on, Dan, did you play? I'm just curious. Did you play it on the Wii?
no,
No. Okay.
not at all. I literally wasn't interested in it. So sorry.
Fine. That's quite all right. Well, does anyone have anything else they would like to mention at this
Well,
juncture?
No.
No. Shall we move on to Mario or Smario then?
Here it is.
Play the game, don't you ever blame me. It's all the same. It's all the same. Don't you play the game every time you play. It's Mario, it's Mario, baby.
Heyo! Welcome to Mario or Smario. This one is the DS edition. Mario or Smario is the game where I present 4 bits of video game trivia, one of which is complete bollocks. And the panel of quote-unquote experts have to work out which one of them is just not real. Just not real at all, guys. And if you're watching on YouTube, or you can play along at home as well. I think Alex has been involved in a few of them, so please do get involved. And speaking of which, do I hear rumours of a prize today, gents?
I think so.
Yeah. We agreed on how we're going to do it.
So we've got a copy. We've got a
think so.
copy of Death's Door to give away. Is that right?
Yep. Copy of Death's Door
So-
will be going to the first person to put the correct answer in the chat. Is that right?
Let's go with
Is that the
that.
best way to do it? Easy. Simple.
And they only get one guess. They get one
Yeah.
guess, and if they don't get it right, then we'll keep the copy of Death's Door until next week?
Yeah.
Is that what
It's
we're doing?
it's
that's
simple and it's easy, but it is more difficult than typing out the word Craig.
Yes, which nobody did.
True. Which nobody
We're
did last time we
We're
did the
still
giveaway.
waiting for a year later.
Still got a year of Game Pass if anyone wants it. Come on.
Okay. That's definitely a cut I don't understand. Okay, right. today's Mario, and everything's to play for. I mean, Dan may be in the lead, but everything could change today, and someone out there could win Death's Door. So, right, today's Mario is Space Invaders or Pace Invaders, and that's the first one I've actually had to remove the S because I couldn't work out how to do it. A little bit of nonsense trivia there. Okay. Right. Number one. In 1981, a member of the UK Labour Party drafted a bill that attempted to give the power to restrict the game to local councils. Number two. In 1981, the New England Journal of Medicine described a new medical condition, calling it Space Invaders Wrist. Number three. The developer was inspired by the novel The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. And number four, the game led to a shortage of 100 yen coins in Japan. And I'm going to drop these in for you to read. And I will then reveal randomly who's going to go first.
Randomly, it's Ben.
We
again.
have Lewis. You're up first, mate.
Oh, so it's not Lewis, so I can't just
No,
go
it's
and pick
Lewis.
Ben.
Nope, not
no?
Lewis.
Okay, Space Invaders, yeah. 1981, a member of the UK Labour Party drafted a bill to attempt to give power to restrict the game to local councils. I mean, first off the bat, that sounds... But why? Like, why would you do that? Why? Why Labour? Why? So,
Tory.
I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, closet Tory. The New England Journal of Medicine described it. Condition calling it Space Invaders Wrist. Sounds plausible, not very creative. H.G. I mean, War of the Worlds, H.G. Wells. It sounds possible to me anyway, and I can imagine them running out of. I mean, this thing is there a 100 yen coin? I don't know.
Yeah, there is.
But
I will answer
you might
that.
just be saying that to
there
me.
was.
I don't think
No,
there is anymore.
there was 100 yen coin at the time. Yeah.
There was. Okay, so I think I know where I sit on this, but I want to hear what the other guys have to say.
Okay. Next up is Dan. You're up next, mate.
Okay. So, 1981, a member of the UK Labour Party drafted a bill. That does sound like something that the UK Labour Party would have done in 1981 instead of trying to get in power. In 1981 as well, the New England Journal of Medicine described a new medical condition calling it Space Invaders Wrist. Again, completely plausible. Developer is inspired by the novel The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. Less convinced by that just because the War of the Worlds is about alien invasion and actually being on Earth, whereas Space Invaders is about fighting them in space. I don't think there's anything covered off in that in War of the Worlds. And then 4, the game led to a shortage of 100 yen coins in Japan. That could be both. So, yeah. Come on, Ben.
Wow.
Ben, you're up, mate.
Yeah, I think the first one is plausible.
Just, sorry, Ben. Anyone in the chat asking, guess now as quick as you can, because the first
Yeah,
person
guess
to
away.
guess the correct
Yeah,
correct
get your
answer.
guesses in.
Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, I think the first one is. I could see that happening. So, sort of giving local councils the power to almost restrict the game because it was, obviously quite addictive, and I can imagine there being a lot of backlash about that. So, saying, okay, well, there's a curfew on Space Invaders or whatever, something like that. I can imagine that happening. I think Space Invaders Wrist is the one I'm leaning towards the most, I think, as this Mario. It just sounds plausible, but it sounds silly. Space Invaders Wrist. So that,
You've called it
I don't know.
RSI.
And then
Space Invaders Wrist.
yeah, the developer was inspired. I can see it being inspired by War of the Worlds. I think that's true, and I think I might have even heard that before, unless I'm confusing it with it being inspired by another novel or a movie, maybe. And the 100 yen coin shortage sounds like something I've heard before as well. So if either of those last two are false, I think they're at least based on fact. So maybe you've tried to hoodwink us that way.
All right, Lewis, we need an answer, mate.
Might be low. So I am going to go for one. The UK Labour Party trying to restrict it. Deep in,
Dan?
Thatcher's reign, I think they would want to get on people's side, no?
I'm going to go for 4.
I'm going to go for 2.
All over the map. Have we got some answers from the group?
We got some in the chat. I'm just going to quickly check. Open it up on here. You've got Tyler has gone for 4. You've got Alex has gone for 3. Jason just said 1 is bollocks. So there we go. Gambit of everything. Cool.
All over the map. Oh. Love it.
Jason also said
All
Craig.
over the map.
Jason did say Craig.
Okay.
Brilliant. Congrats.
Great.
Get Sticky out the sarcophagus now to go and give him the code.
Still making me laugh. Okay. I will do these in a random order. Okay. Number 3. The developer was inspired by the novel The War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. That is completely true. That's a Mario.
Okay.
He was. That was one of his inspirations for the game. Was The War of the Worlds. Bit of an invasion thing going on, obviously. And I will go to number 2 next. In 1981, the New England Journal of Medicine described a new medical condition, calling it Space Invaders Wrist. That is 100% true. That's actually still in the Journal of Medicine. So that one's a Mario. I think it was Ben that picked that one. That's right. So
Yes.
probably could have predicted it was going to be Mario straight out the gate. So that one's true. And the last 2, we've got number 1. In 1981, a member of the UK Labour Party drafted a bill that attempted to give the power to restrict the game to local councils. I'm so sorry, Lewis, but that is also true. Which you had chosen. That's true. In fact, they did try and restrict it, but it didn't get through. The bill got rejected before it could go to Parliament to be voted on. So that leaves, I think, Dan with the Mario there, with the game led to a shortage of 100 yen coins in Japan. Now, this is an example, Ben, of knowing a little information can lead you astray. Because
Again,
this is a
which
heavily
happens every
rudimentary piece
fucking
of
week.
information.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben, I'm really clever. Hey, Tyler won
Heavily
the
rumored
game as well, which is
Piece of information that
should we give Tyler
Not true. Not true.
some clicks because he guessed it right? Let's give him
Yeah, well done,
Yeah,
Tyler.
well done.
Congratulations to Tyler. You're the real champ.
You're the real champ.
and he wins
you
what? He wins the
Get a
game, doesn't he?
prize.
He does. He
Yeah.
wins
Yeah.
Death's Door. So if you slide into our DMs over on Twitter, just send what region and what.
Just your email address, I think, is all we need.
Was that it?
Yeah.
You don't need region, or you're just going to literally.
Oh, give us your region. Give us,
Fine.
just in case.
No, I'll just talk shit.
Give us your region, you'll be getting whatever we've got.
Love it.
Well played, guys.
So what are the,
And
what are
Dan
the scores?
So Dan has 3. Lewis, you've got 1.
Yeah.
And Ben's got 0, I'm afraid. And we've got a new scorekeeper general, though. As Alex is now looking after the scores because of my general incompetence to do that. He is now looking after it forevermore. He'll be creating a spreadsheet so we can see by the end of the year if anyone sort of beats just random chance, that sort of thing. And exactly how angry Ben got.
Looks
by
furious,
saying
doesn't he?
October.
Look at him.
Should be odds on to
really
get
sure.
it next week though. If it's 4, you've had 4
Really?
attempts.
Really?
Just move on.
Just awkward, isn't it?
Okay.
So,
Okay, let's move on. Raging.
At least you've got that nice Steam Deck coming, Ben. It's all right.
Yeah, you'll be happy in a year, Ben. Thanks.
None of it's shit. Oh dear.
Wow, amazingly, Dan is still in the lead. And he's increased his
What do
lead.
you mean amazingly?
Well played,
cheeky,
man.
It's fine.
Well, just being cheeky. Just being
Yeah.
impressive.
Need to get that sorted.
Good work.
Expected. It's expected.
Okay, let's just go. Mark's silhouette. Where would you find Mark online?
Oh god, light have we,
Mark
Lewis?
Silhouette.
I've got a light now. I can say these
Yeah.
things.
Oh, we haven't all got a lovely light, have we? God, you've been
light
looking so
friends.
pretty today, Lewis. Looking so pretty with your light.
Thanks, thank
We
you.
haven't mentioned it. So, bastard.
Well,
I'll have to order
let me do an impression of you. Well, even that, it's still too bright.
Still not as bad.
Still too bright.
I think I just like
Try
the
again.
mystique of being here in the dark. You know, the Smithsteak. You can find me at SmarkTweeter on Twitter.
Lovely. Ben?
You can find me at Benji Cole.
Mr. Ward.
He's genuinely not happy. At Dan the tweets.
And I am at the Wilsonite. And if you want to go onto Twitter, go to at Benji Kong and just post like a laughing gif or something like that, just to really wind him up. But you can get us all on Twitter at the Crossplayers, and on our Twitter page you can see like a link tree or like all the links to our various outlets. So go there, jump into Discord, come and say hi, get involved. Be very much appreciated. You can also go to patreon.com/the Crossplayers when you can donate as little as £1 a month, and you get a little bit extra content on Patreon as well. I think there's around 86 posts altogether, or 86 audio posts, a lot of other crap in there as well. Well worth your pound.
Nice.
And
Wow.
we are still planning a special Mario like an event one with multiple guests, special guests
We
and
are.
things. We just
Although nobody's going to want to be on my team now, are they?
I've got a
It'll have
guest.
to be me and my mum.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're doing really well. Shut up, Mum.
Oh, don't listen to him. You're so handsome.
at least someone will be able to hug you. You'll be all right.
If leave us a review as well. We've not had one on any podcast applications of recent. We've had a great one on Twitter recently where someone wasn't very happy. But can't please everyone is the main thing. Is the point there? You can't please everybody. But if the best thing you can do other than that is tell your motherfucking friends about us. Spread the word of mouth and all that.
Make
All right,
us
guys.
all as happy as Ben and get some reviews done.
Okay.
Good
Bye.
stuff.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Ben's got 0 points.
Oh,
Fuck you guys.
War of the Worlds.
Kept you waiting.
Thank you.